High heels, they're now a staple of women's fashion, seen everywhere. But did you know they weren't always that way? Their origins might surprise you. That's right. The history of high heels is a surprising one, full of twists. It's a journey that takes us from the battlefields of 10th century Persia to the opulent courts of European royalty, where they became a symbol of status. It's a story of practicality, status, and evolving fashion sensibilities. Buckle up for this fascinating ride. Our story begins in 10th century Persia. Here, high heels served a very practical purpose for warriors. They needed footwear that would help them secure their footing in stirrups. This was especially important when firing arrows from horseback. These early high heels weren't just practical, they were also a symbol of status. The height of the heel often indicated the rider's rank and importance. Fast forward a few centuries. High heels eventually made their way to Europe. This happened through trade and cultural exchange. By the late 16th century, high heels had become all the rage among European aristocracy. They were seen as a symbol of wealth, power, and masculinity. They were also a way for men to show off their legs and physique. One of the most famous proponents of high heels was King Louis XIV of France. Known as the Sun King, King Louis reigned for over 72 years, and his influence on fashion was profound. He was known for his extravagant style. High heels were an integral part of his royal wardrobe. These heels were not just a fashion statement, they were a symbol of his absolute power and authority. Louis even decreed that only members of his court were allowed to wear red heels. This decree was a strategic move to distinguish the nobility from the commoners, further emphasizing the exclusivity of his inner circle. The red heels became a coveted item, representing not just fashion, but also the privilege and prestige of being close to the king. The higher the heel, the closer to God, or so the saying went. High heels were not just about height, they were about status, elegance, and the divine right of kings. The court of Louis XIV was a place where fashion and power were intertwined, and high heels were at the very heart of this cultural phenomenon. Symbols of status and masculinity. During this period, high heels were not just a fashion statement, they were a symbol of masculinity and wealth. This might seem strange to us today, but at the time, high heels were coveted by the nobility. They were often adorned with elaborate buckles, ribbons, and other embellishments. It was a way for men to express their status. The rise of rational dress and the decline of men's heels. As the 18th century dawned, a new era of thought emerged, the Enlightenment. With it came a focus on reason and practicality. This shift in thinking had a profound impact on fashion. Men's clothing became simpler and less extravagant. High heels, once a symbol of masculinity, were gradually abandoned by men. They were seen as impractical and effeminate. The Enlightenment was a period where intellectuals emphasized reason, science, and the power of human thought. This intellectual movement influenced many aspects of society, including fashion. The elaborate and ornate styles of the previous century were seen as excessive and impractical. Practicality became the new standard, and clothing reflected this change. Flat shoes allowed for greater mobility and comfort, aligning with the new rational ideals. The decline of men's heels was not just a fashion statement, but a reflection of a broader cultural shift. As society embraced rationality, men's fashion evolved to meet the demands of a more practical and thoughtful era. The rise of rational dress marked a significant turning point in the history of men's fashion. It was a move towards simplicity, functionality, and a new understanding of masculinity. High heels find their footing in women's fashion. As men's fashion embraced practicality, women began to adopt high heels. This wasn't a sudden shift. It was a gradual process that took place over several decades. By the 19th century, high heels had become a predominantly female fashion item. They were seen as a way to accentuate the feminine form and create an illusion of height and elegance. Today, high heels are a form of self-expression and art. Designers often create avant-garde and artistic styles that push the boundaries of conventional fashion. In some workplaces, high heels have become part of the dress code, symbolizing professionalism and attention to appearance. They can be seen as and commitment to one's role. Despite their popularity, high heels are often critiqued for their impact on health. Long-term use can lead to foot, knee and back problems, and there is a growing movement toward more comfortable and health-conscious footwear options. The journey of the high heel is an ever-changing nature of fashion. From its early beginnings as warrior's necessity to its modern-day iterations, the high heel has undergone a remarkable transformation. Yet beneath their sleek exterior lies a poignant paradox, a symbol of strength and beauty that also whispers caution about the sacrifices made for style. As the world continues to evolve, so too does the storied significance of these iconic shoes, forever perched on the edge of both triumph and turmoil. What are your thoughts? Do you like shuffling in comfort or prancing around in Prada? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.